Let's take a look at what we got here. Everything we should. All right. Yeah, the other day, Val and I were on the road into town to have some medical tests done for her. And I noticed that the truck was driving kind of sluggish. Pickup wasn't as good as it normally is. And when I'd let off the gas, it'd start slowing down immediately. And I knew something was wrong. Once we arrived at the medical center, I got out and walked around the truck. I kind of had a feeling because something like this has happened once before. Going down the road, it was basically acting up the same way, except we were getting some shimmy and shaking and bad smell. And in this instance, we weren't getting the shimmying and shaking, nor the bad smell, but it still acted about the same way. I went around and inspected each of the wheels, and when I got to the driver's side rear wheel, I could feel the heat coming off of it and knew right away that we had a caliper issue again. So, time to get something done about it. We made it home, and once we got home, we let the truck sit here. When you live out here, your vehicle is your lifeline, and this Ford F-150 is ours. When I discovered we had a caliper locking up on this thing, I knew we were in trouble. So it was either a trip to one of the local repair centers, service centers, or it was try to do it ourselves. And in this case, we didn't have much of a choice. We had to do it ourselves. It was going to cost us $600 or $700 or more between parts and labor to have both of these rear calipers replaced on this truck. I didn't want to do just the one because it's a 13-year-old F-150, and they are notorious for issues with calipers locking up like this. We did a little research, found the parts, excellent parts online, and ordered them $122.52 with free shipping. That's generally less than the cost of a single caliper for this thing. Today, this old fella is going to spend a couple of hours, hopefully, out here in the sunshine, fresh air, and see if I can't get this thing fixed and back on the road. The first challenge is going to be getting these old calipers off. A 13-year-old F-150 with 4 years of upstate New York winters, road salt, and sitting outside are what we're fighting here. And I'm replacing both of the rear calipers at the same time. No sense in taking a chance with your brakes. Let's get them both replaced while we're doing this. So the first thing we're going to do is get this thing jacked up, get this wheel off, and take a look at what we got. So before I jack it up, I'm going to loosen up the lug nuts. I hope. All right, I believe that's all of them. Make sure. Yep, so we got them loose. Now let's get this thing up off the ground. We got it on our jack stand, and we're ready to take these lug nuts off. There we have our caliper. I'm not a mechanic, not by a long shot. And if you watched any of my other videos on working on this thing, repairing it, you know that is true. But we are a retired couple on a budget, so we've got to do what we need to do to get things done around our homestead. And with the cost of repairs on pickup truck like this these days, $165 and up an hour just for labor, you know, I'm just a homeowner with a toolbox and a problem and on a pretty tight budget. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. First thing we need to do is open up our little drain nipple so that we can release the pressure on these brakes.
One thing I've learned doing these repairs is that once you've identified the actual problem, you better know what your limitations are. If you think you can do it, make certain before you're halfway into the thing and discover that maybe you shouldn't have tried tackling this one.
This is an 11 millimeter.
But in a lot of cases, like this one, a U-tube certification can make all of the difference.
This is for the drain fitting. Okay. All right. We've got a very, very slow drip, which is fine. So let's see. Calipers are tight. There we go. Yeah. We're getting a little squirt. All right. All right, let's tighten our fitting back up. Hopefully that'll be enough to get us off there. Yep. I can see that's loose. That's loose enough. All right, so next step is to start getting our caliper unbolted. There we go. That is a 13 millimeter. Let's get our big boy out here for this. All right. So we have two 13 millimeter bolts up here. All right, easy enough. Here's the first one. And the second. Let's see. Yeah, at that point, we can release them by hand. Okay. All right, our two 13 millimeter bolts, and would you look at that? All right. Now, before I do that, take it off, I'm going to also release the brake line. That's a 12, it looks like. All right. Don't want to loosen that too much. You'll have a mess of brake fluid. But now, as you can see, we have our old caliper out. Next thing to do is get our brake pads off. And they just pop right off. These are good ones. We just recently replaced them. So, let's put those aside. We're going to reuse them. Now, we've got two bolts left, I think. 1, 2. So, we got two 18 millimeter that need to come off the back, holding our caliper brake bracket on. And thankfully, that was easy enough. Let's see. Where's our other? Right there in front of me. Okay. There. And coming loose. See if we can do this by hand. We can get this one. We'll have to reuse these, I believe. We'll see. All right. Take this. There we are. And our mounting bracket. So this is off. Nothing really wrong with it, but it comes as a kit with the replacement parts. So let's get our new kit out. All righty. So here's our new part. Detroit axle, premium brake calipers. I'll put a link to these in the video just in case it's something that you are going to try to do yourself, along with a lot of the tools I've used in here. I got a nice new 3-ton jack and jack stands, a few other odds and ends. Okay, and here's our placement parts. This is our new caliper, already mounted on our mounting bracket. Basically, we just need to put on our pads and we're good to go. So let's get that done. All right. We got both our pads mounted. It's a little more difficult to do it with the whole thing together, but you can still just angle each one of them in, snap it in place, and you're done. So at this point, we're ready to remount. And looky there. Slides on nicely. Let's get this thing remounted. There we go. All right. One 18-millimeter bolt. Our second. Okie dokie. Not going to tighten it all the way up yet. Get this other one installed.
So here's where we are. The old caliper is off, the new one is going on, but there's one thing that can turn this whole repair into a failure, and that's getting all of the air out of the brake system. If you want it to stop, that is.
Both of those on nice and tight. All that really leaves us with is our putting on our brake line. Take it off of our original. Okay. Here's our original. This copper piece needs to come off. We're going to replace that. That's a copper crush washer. So, and you'll notice this has got a little pin on the end that allows you to mount this thing the proper direction on your caliper. Get our brake line. Installed. And the new one. Okay. All right. Wipe that down a little bit so we can actually work with it. Now, get our you want to tighten this down very tightly until those copper washers are both crushed. I would assume that is tight enough. Now, the next step, remove your little cap, dust cap from the nipple. Save that because it's going to go back on. And then we got to crack open the drain just enough. All right. Let that brake fluid start dripping out. We're going to let gravity do its thing and run the brake fluid through the line until it starts dripping. Then we're going to go find our beautiful assistant and have her go in and pump the brakes for us a little bit. All right. Let's see. This may take just a few minutes to drip. I think what I will do in the meantime is spray it off. I see a drip. All right, we've got a good drip going on it. I'm going to tighten it back up momentarily. Clean it all off. All right, get that. Now, being frugal, I know this worked when I pulled it off. So, we're going to save it. No sense in throwing a good part away, just in case. And we'll put this on our shelf, in the workshop. And we'll save our screws for it too, just in case.
And go in the car? No? Bye-bye.
All right. I've got my beautiful young assistant here to pump our brakes.
This doesn't have my...
Grippy grips. Yeah. And I'm going to open that hood. All right, now give it a pump. Okay.
Want me to stay down?
No, I want you to now pump it up again. Give it a 4 or 5, as many as you can. All right. All right, pump it. All right, that's it. Let's see. Press it down now, see how far it goes. Down to the ground. All right. Pump it a couple more times then. Pump it a couple more times. Pump it again. All right. All right, we'll see what we get. Okay, we found our nipple cover. Your nipple's got to get covered. Time to fill our brake fluid reservoir. All right. Yep, we've lost a little fluid, obviously. So time to fill our reservoir back to its max line. This one uses .4 fluid. And we're at max. Make sure our cap is pressed in like it's supposed to be. And it is. We're good there. Put that on and tighten it up. And then we'll give it a test in the car. Pretty close. All right, and let's give it a final tighten. At this point, we should be able to remove our jack stand. There we go. Jack stand is out. Let's drop her down and take her for a test drive. All right, our fluid level checked, looking good. We can shut this bad boy down. Oh, take this bad boy for a test drive. See how she does. Seems to be doing just fine. All right.
And that's another repair that didn't require a trip into town, a second mortgage, or waiting for someone else to have time to get to us. One of the biggest reasons we wanted this homestead lifestyle was independence. Sometimes that means growing food. Sometimes it means making repairs yourself.
Raise it up.
For an old part like me, having the right tool often makes the difference between a 1-hour repair and a week-long headache. We'll put links to the parts and tools we used in this repair down in the description. Those are affiliate links, so if you choose to purchase through them, the channel earns a small commission at no extra cost to you. That support helps us continue sharing practical money-saving projects and repairs from here on the homestead.